Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Jonathan here in the Shadow Foam Workshop, and this week we're going to be looking at a very small project, which is the DJI Osmo Pocket version 1. Now I've had this for a while. It's a pocket recording device. It records in 4K, it can attach to your iPhone, and it's got like a little gyro in the head, so it's always nice and stable. And it comes in this little kind of sheath for free. It kind of comes in the packet, so it's great value. I've really liked it. We've used it in a few videos. Now I'm hoping to use it a little bit more for some videos we've got coming up. So I've picked up a few accessories. We've got the extension arm, so the Osmo goes in the end here, it extends out, and then we can kind of flip up this screen holder. I can put my phone in there, and then I can see what I'm filming, and I can get shots a bit higher up, or maybe if I'm doing a selfie mode, you can kind of like get a bit further away. So that's a nice little accessory. We've also got the charging case. This is a lovely little bit of kit, and it just houses it nicely, and it's got a lovely little opening feature. Honestly, it's worth it just for this. You press a little tab down and it just rotates round. Really well made piece of kit, and then that just literally slides in there, and it's a little nice secure charging case. This is a little clamp holder. It goes around the body, and then you can mount it to basically anything that you'd mount a GoPro to. So you've got that. This is an audio adapter, so you can plug it in the USB-C, and then you can run a lav mic. Speaking of lav mics, we've got one of those which we're going to be putting in. I'm actually using it right now, but we'll be using it in this tin. We've got the little scroll wheel. This is to control the head, that just slides on. We've got the wireless connector. This is so you can wirelessly connect it to your phone rather than using the adapter. And then we've got a little cloth, and we've got a charging plug to add as well. And then we've got the wide lens, which is like a little magnetic ND lens cap, which is like a nice wide one. So we've got a few bits and bobs, and I did pick up this case. This case is made by Cerevo. It's on Amazon, it's about 20 quid, and it comes with a piece of foam in there. Oh, goodness. It comes with some foam in there. So we've got the enemy right here. Not quite, no. Any foam organising stuff I love, so I'm all up for it. It doesn't have to be shadow foam, but preferred. Now this has actually been designed for a good amount of these accessories, so we can put the extension bar in there. That fits. It just about fits anyway, just about fits. We've got the case, we've got this case goes in there. It even houses this clamp and the little scroll bar. But the problem is it doesn't fit a charger, it doesn't fit this lens cap. We've got a USB-C lead we need to fit in there, and we also want to put a lav mic in there. So what are we supposed to do? Where are they supposed to go? You know, we can add some of our little micro SD cards, and we can add that adapter. Basically, it's not quite suitable. It's pretty good, but it's not great. So in this video, we're going to be taking this, I'm going to change it out to shadow foam, and we're going to make it suitable for exactly the gear we have rather than this generic setup. So make sure to subscribe to the channel, and yeah, let's get on with it. So the first thing to do is cut a piece of shadow foam to the right size. So I've got a spare insert here that we're not using. I've picked 30mm red, and we're going to use the red face up in this one, which is a bit unusual. Usually it's the black surface at the top, cut through it and then see the red, but this time we're going to have the red face up. We can use this piece of foam which was in the case as a template, which makes it nice and easy, and all we have to do is cut round it. So I'm going to be using one of our scalpels. Now these come in our cutting kits, which include everything you're going to need. Anti-cut gloves, it's got repair glue to repair any mistakes you make, it's got a scalpel, 5 blades, a sticker, and a set of cutting instructions. So it's everything you need, and all I'm going to do is just place the item where I want it to go. I'm going to put that square edge up against the top, and then I'm going to lightly trace cut around the item. I don't have to cut all the way through here. I'm just making enough of an incision that I can see where I've cut. So I'm kind of using it like a pencil, very similar to if I was cutting an item into foam. So once we've cut all the way around, we can lift that out of the way, and we can, if we kind of fold the foam a little bit, you can see that cut that we've made, and then I can follow it back round with the scalpel and cut all the way through. And this edge is going to be hidden, so it doesn't really matter how tidy this is, but a top tip is to not saw the foam. So don't use the blade as a saw, just drag it. It's so sharp, you don't need to saw it like this. You can just drag it through the foam, and you'll get a much nicer finish, a much nicer cut, and it's quicker. So it's a win-win really. And the other top tip is always wear the gloves. It's very easy to cut all the way through and nip yourself, so make sure you're wearing the gloves. So it's simple as that. We've cut all the way around the shape. It should, that piece can go in there. It's like a brand new sheet again. Put that out of the way, and this is what we need. We've got the piece of foam, and all we want to do here as well is just trim that base, because with any case like this, it's kind of press fit into a mold, so the bottom corner is slightly radiused. So all we're going to do is just use the scalpel and just cut lightly on an angle all the way around, just to put a radius on that bottom corner to make sure that this insert sits right down into the case. So all it takes is a little bit of a trim just around the edge. Nothing, it doesn't have to be super accurate, but you can see there now we've trimmed that off and it's going to sit in there nice and flush now right down to the bottom, and that is the insert cut. Now the next stage is the layout. Now usually we kind of skim through these layouts and kind of blast through them really quickly, but here, because we've only got a few items, the first thing to do is put the largest item in. So we've ended up changing the layout slightly from this insert here. They've kind of got this extended arm all the way across. It's hardly any space left and right. So we've put it on an angle, gives us a bit more room, and we have got a few items that are going to help us fill up these little quirky angles that are left behind. So I'm pretty confident we can still have a really efficient layout even with that on an angle. We are going to change the items as well slightly in here because although I've had all of this for, you know, some of this I've had for years, some of this I've had for a few months. Not all of it has to be in this case, and that's what sometimes creating a layout and working on a project with shadow foam, it helps you boil down what you actually need. You know, do I need everything in this kit? It's only a small case, you know, it's only this big. It's something really nice that you can just chuck in the car, you can have with you, and some of these items, they could be in a drawer at home or they could be somewhere else. So for example here, we've got the Osmo in its little handy pocket case, and then this is the charging case, which I do love. But do I need a case in a case, and do I need two of them? Well, I don't. So I've just been having to think about it while I was cutting this in, and I think we're going to lose this case, as handy as it is, because if I just want the pocket and none of the other accessories, it's fully charged, it's ready to go, I can put it in there and put that in my backpack. The reason being, it's got a few spare spaces for little mini SD cards, you can have the adapters in the bottom, and you can also have some of the ND filters. So do we need it in this kit? I think not. So we're going to leave that to one side, and then all of these accessories will fit in there with a tin, and the tin's important because we need a charging cable in there and we need a lav mic, and there's no way I'm cutting those in individually. So I'm happy with the start of the layout. Next thing to do is cut some of these other items in, and we'll show you how you do it. So starting with this little thumb wheel here, which we're going to squeeze in this top corner, all you have to do is put a little bit of light pressure on the item and then cut around it lightly. A little bit of light pressure on the item shouldn't distort the foam, but it should stop the item moving. So you're just looking to hold the knife perpendicular or 90 degrees to the foam and then just go all the way around. And once you've done that, you can move the item out of the way. You can then press down on the foam and it will expose that cut you've just made, and then you can go back and make it deeper. And then you just peel back layers of foam. So here I'm going to dig my thumb down, pull back 2 layers of foam we've got there, and then that should fit in there quite nicely, and that's ideal then. So that's how you do it, and we'll just put all the other items now and make sure that we've got a layout that we're happy with before cutting the rest in. Right, so we've moved on, we've cut the next item on here we've done something a bit different. We've cut the tin in, and this is going to have the lav mic and the USB-C cable. And then underneath, we've cut the charging plug. So that slots down right to the bottom, and then the tin sits on top, and we're getting a better use of space. So that's really good. We'll stick a label on there as well, so we know what's in it. And now we're going to move on to some of these other chunky items. So this is the clamp that goes around the body. We're going to put that down here. Exactly the same technique as we've done with all the other items, just placing it where I want it to go, holding it lightly, and then cutting around it. Once you've cut all the way around, take the item out of the way, cut around it again to make sure you've gone deep enough, and then you push your finger down the side, and you just pull in the foam towards you, and you're not peeling it like a banana, but you just then force back the layers. So that goes there, that's perfect. Then we've got the wireless module. That looks quite nice. I'm going to put that on an angle just so it complements the layout nicely. Exactly the same technique, just cutting around the item, pressing down lightly. Once you've gone all the way around, move the item out of the way, and then cut down further. And then you push your finger down the side, and you just pull in the foam towards you, and there we go, it's peeled out nice and easy. So this is the exact same, if you were doing a toolbox or you were doing, you know, some collectibles, whatever you were doing, it's the exact same technique. And that is it. It's fully completed, fully customized, and it's exactly how I want it for the items that I need. And that is the project done. That's exactly how I need it, and now that will help us with the videos out on the road. We've also got loads of other videos on the channel, including this French cleat wall we've done here, all of our hand tools, and our epic Makita power tool wall. So go and check those out and subscribe to the channel if you've not already, and we'll see you next time.